Hi, this is Lindy Kaiser with clearancejobs.com. Thank you so much for joining us for today's webinar. I am so excited to be talking today about educational efforts in the federal space with our new partner, SkillStorm, and also with Kevin McDonald, who is a Director of Business Development with CompTIA. This is meant to be an engaging conversation, so we are going to get a brief presentation from Kevin and Seth Parker with SkillStorm about some of the great opportunities they have for upskilling, for training, for how CompTIA can really take your career to the next level. So if you have questions throughout the webinar today, we invite you to drop them into the questions panel on the right-hand side of your screen. So again, thank you. We want this to be an interactive webinar. If you have questions as we go along, we will be taking them. We will be fielding them. It will be moderated questions. So punt them there and I will address them to Kevin and Seth. So without further ado, I have a slide deck here. They have a brief overview to give you. Again, we are really excited for the new ways that we're able to partner with SkillStorm, for the great opportunities they have for you to really advance your career, a ton of training opportunities. And again, CompTIA is one of those avenues that they have. So they're going to be talking more with us about that today. With that, I will go ahead and turn over to you, Seth, to start the conversation here.
Sure. Thank you, Lindy. Like everyone, thank you for coming. And we're excited to talk with you guys about, yes, our new partnership with Clearance Jobs to close the skills gap in the tech workforce, especially being an authorized training partner with CompTIA. And so we want to just kind of share a little bit about how SkillStorm is doing that and helping to come alongside you and accelerate that opportunity for you. So if we go to the next slide, Lindy, just a brief overview of how we're going to go over these. Kevin's going to speak on CompTIA, and that's the company he works for, and just how their certifications can help open opportunities in the tech industry for you. And then I'm going to talk a little bit on the latter end about how we can come alongside you and help you obtain the instruction needed to pass some of these CompTIA certifications. So I'm one of the career advisors for SkillStorm, and Kevin, why don't you introduce yourself, and then you can start sharing with the group about the certifications, and I'll come on whenever it's my turn.
Yeah, very good. Thank you, Lindy, and thank you, Seth. And hello, everybody. Good to be with you all today. For those who might not be familiar with CompTIA, the Computing Technology Industry Association, CompTIA. We are the IT industry's trade association, headquartered in the Chicago suburbs. We've been at it for going on 40 years, and we do many, many, many things as a trade association to help to grow and develop and professionalize the global IT industry, in particular with a mission of trying to close the IT skills gap and the cybersecurity skills gap, large gaps that are out there in the workforce, for which CompTIA has a series of IT personnel accreditation, certification exams that if you can successfully prepare for them, take them and pass those exams, can make you immediately hireable into many different areas in IT work and in cybersecurity work. But before I get into those details, I just want a big picture, just quickly talk to folks. You know, we're still here in the US in a rare time in our economy where unemployment rates are still very, very low. And I'm just showing you their sample of major metro areas around the US and just how low unemployment rates can continue to be. Take all of those percentages that you see on that map and divide them in two, divide them in half, because that's the IT workforce unemployment rate here in this country. And that is typically the case. Why? IT jobs, okay, very, very frequently in great demand. Most years, more IT jobs are created, both in technology companies and any and all other organizations across the economy. And there usually aren't nearly enough people to fill those technical support jobs, those network administration jobs, those cybersecurity jobs, okay? CompTIA, through our partner SkillStorm, we have easy, quick answers to get you the knowledge and the skills that you need so that you can be a winning applicant to fill many of these jobs. Lindy? Okay, here's just a quick look. If you've not thought about, you know, gee, I have my security clearance, what should I do next in my career? Or you're doing work right now where you're not fully leveraging your security clearance, or you're not particularly happy with the career path that you're currently on, and you've never considered IT. How big is the tech workforce across the US economy? It's something that people tend to not think about. Just a couple of quick charts here to show you not only is it large and substantial, all these tech jobs, okay, but despite what the general economy has been through over the last couple of years with COVID and the lockdowns and so forth, more tech jobs created year after year after year. And let me just say a quick thing about, there's been a lot of headlines in the past, 6 months time or so about some of the largest tech companies, Facebook, Google, and so forth, doing some job cuts. And I would encourage you to look, the folks that they're cutting are not, they're tech workers. They're not the folks that are doing service management, field service technicians, help desk technicians, network administrators, cybersecurity workers that are protecting their networks. Those are very much not the folks that are being cut, not at all. And despite the relative upheaval that there's been in the general workforce in the past year here in the US, the total number of tech jobs has grown overall, not shrunk. Lindy? Okay, everyone will get a copy of these slides, and so I won't read all things to you, but if you can just take a look, perspectives from job seekers and future job seekers, why do people seek out tech jobs? Okay, they pay well, they provide you with a career path, there's real security and stability, and very frequently, particularly now in the post-COVID lockdown era, many tech jobs allow you to WFH, work from home. There's typically very good work-life balance with many tech career jobs. And in fact, it's not just a job. It's very often a career. And there's a path where when you're being brought in and you're first being hired, you're being shown where, look, here's where you're going to start. But these are the kinds of things that we could have lined up for you in the years ahead. A true career path, a true career calling. Lindy? Okay. There are a lot of there's a lot of false thinking out there about barriers to pursuing a career in tech. Okay, and we could spend from now until dinner time tonight going through all of them. But please know, a lot of times people have, I could never be a programmer. Coding, that's not for me. Wrong. Most tech jobs have nothing to do with coding and programming, nothing. Okay. Now, for sure, there are lucrative software development jobs that are out there, for sure. And those are all about coding and programming. But if that's not you, don't pursue those. But please understand, tons of other IT jobs that are out there, well-paying, career path-driven jobs that have nothing to do with coding and programming. Lindy? Okay. I'd encourage you, if you're not familiar with CompTIA, if you've never spent time on our website, please spend some time on our website, CompTIA.org, O-R-G, okay? Among other things, we have an IT salary tool that's geo-specific. So wherever you're dialing into this webinar from today, you can look. Yeah, it's true. The salaries are higher in New York City and Los Angeles and Chicago and Washington, D.C. than they are in the smaller metro areas, but use that salary tool. Spend some time on the CompTIA website. We have a series of tools that will help you to understand what IT work is about, what's involved in becoming a field service technician or doing technical support of one kind or another, and then what those jobs tend to pay, not just at entry level, but also mid-career and then also senior experienced as well. So encourage you to take some time with CompTIA.org. CompTIA also funds another super important website that I'd like you to take some time and take a look at if you're investigating possibly getting into IT or cyber work. It's called cyberseek.org. You see the URL in the upper left-hand corner there. The good news is across the US, we now have about 1.1 million who are working in cybersecurity jobs of one kind or another. The bad news, although it might be good news for you, we have 750,000 open cyber jobs across the US right now, today. And by categorization of cyber work, you can look at those and get a sense of where they are by metro area across the US, okay? And for those who might be thinking, oh yeah, Kevin, lots of open cyber jobs, but they're for well-experienced people. No, not necessarily. A good 150,000 of those 750,000 open cyber jobs today across the US are entry level. They're for starting folks. You already have a security clearance. You've got a big leg up for you. And what we're going to get to, Seth and I, in the next few minutes, is talking about what are some pretty quick programs that you can do to obtain knowledge and skills to make yourselves cyber ready to get hired in perhaps the DoD community or in the contractor community to fill some of those lucrative entry-level cyber jobs. Lindy? Okay, and Seth, I believe this is you.
Yeah, sure thing. Well, Kevin, thanks for some of that background on the career opportunity. That's super helpful. And I love doing webinars with you because every time I do, I get another helpful link that I can share with people. So cyberseek.com, that's a new one that I'm excited to forward to a lot of the people I talk to. So listen, everyone, the reason why Kevin's sharing with you some of these career opportunities is because we want you guys to know that there are options out there. If you've transitioned out, and you're looking for a new career, if you are maybe even thinking about if you're a veteran and you're active duty and you're about to transition out, we want you to know that there's options for you in the tech industry. So Kevin just shared with you a lot of the open career opportunities in the tech industry. And you saw on the one slide, there's several different reasons why people are pursuing these opportunities, these jobs, because of the flexibility, because of the pay, because of the career opportunity, the job security. And so we want to help you get to that point. And so SkillsStorm, we have been a technical recruiting agency for over 2 decades long. So we'll be celebrating our 21st anniversary here in August. But what we've done in the past 20 years is we've kind of paired talent with tech companies who are looking for workers. And we've come to know what these companies are looking for in terms of a tech skill set. And so we've done a really good job of learning how to train individuals who are preparing to enter into the tech field and give them the skill set needed to succeed in the workforce. And so because of that, what we wanted to do is we wanted to offer some courses and become authorized training partners with different technology institutions so that we can provide you with the skill set needed to obtain some of these certifications that are going to help you stand out whenever you're looking to get into the tech workforce. So we're proud to be an authorized training partner with CompTIA. And CompTIA has some great certifications that are going to help you land the role in the tech industry that you're going to want to pursue. And Kevin's going to talk about some of the different certifications and the ones that you can pursue. What SkillsStorm's role is in all of this is we have courses that you can go and sign up for. And by accessing these courses, you're going to have access to live instruction. You're going to have access to some benchmarks that we're going to set for you. And at the end of the cohort, at the end of the course, you're going to have the skills necessary to obtain the certifications that are going to propel your tech career. Now, you've probably heard of, many other courses. If this is something that you've looked into before, if you know about CompTIA and the value that they can add to your tech career, you might have looked into some of these certifications, and you might have looked into different avenues of receiving help in educating yourself, preparing for a certification. There's different types of courses out there. There are some that are instructor-led, which there's pros and cons to instructor-led courses, right? One of the benefits is you have that accountability, right? You have up-to-date training. So that's a pro of live instruction, but there are a lot of people whose schedules do not allow them to attend live instruction. Maybe you're going to school, maybe you're working a full-time job and the hours don't match up. And so there's pros and cons. Well, maybe some of the other training courses that you've looked into are totally self-paced. And again, there's pros and cons to self-paced programs as well. You have that flexibility with your schedule. If you're a parent, if you're a student, if you're a full-time worker, you have that flexibility to kind of gain that education on your own time, flexible, but you might lack that kind of accountability that's set for you in an instructor-led course. So that's the benefit of our courses. We call them asynchronous, and they have aspects of both full-time live instruction, or not full-time, we have access of live instruction, And you also have the ability to do things at your own pace. So how this works with our courses is, let's say you want to pursue getting your CompTIA certification, right? Well, if you enroll in our course, then what's going to happen is we're going to have a few hours a week of live instruction, somewhere between 3 to 5 hours of live instruction. If you can join the instructors during that time period, awesome. We'd love to have you. You have the ability to ask questions if there's anything that comes up that you need some clarification on. However, if the live instruction course doesn't fit your schedule, all of the sessions are recorded. So if you can't make a live instruction, a couple days a week, then we will have those sessions recorded for you. We also have office hours for all of our courses. So even if it's during a time where you can't make it to the lecture, then you might be able to make it to the office hours for the live instruction, where you have access to the instructor to ask for some clarification on the training. So there's a lot of great benefits that go through these SkillStorm asynchronous courses designed to give you the skill set needed to pass CompTIA certification. Last one I want to highlight, you can see some of the different benefits of going through us. When you pay for our course, the exam fee for the certification is covered as well. I also just wanted to highlight that we are an authorized training partner with CompTIA as well. And so what that means is essentially, and Kevin can speak on this too, but it's kind of like we have CompTIA's seal of approval, right? If you imagine you just stamping, signed, sealed, and delivered. When you go through SkillStorm to receive education, preparing to pass a CompTIA certification, you have CompTIA's backing that says, if you follow the competencies set for you by SkillStorm, if you keep up with the benchmarks they set for you, you'll have the skills that needed to succeed in passing our certification exam. And so that's something that you don't get with every course out there, right? And so we're proud to be an authorized training partner of CompTIA. And so, Lindy, we can go to the next slide. So, Kevin, we can kind of tag team on this. This is one of the certification courses that we train in, is the CompTIA A+. You can see some of the course overview right there. That's going to be an 8-week long course, and it's going to prepare you for the A+ course. Kevin, is there anything that you wanted to mention on this?
Sure. So CompTIA A+, later this year will be the 30th anniversary of the publication of the very first version of CompTIA A+. It was CompTIA's first IT personnel certification exam 30 years ago, and it's still crazy popular today. Over 50,000 annually, and that's globally now, not just here in the US, but over 50,000 annually successfully train for, prepare for, take, and pass the 2 tests required to earn A+ certification. It's de facto, if your best entry into IT work is technical support, right? Which, by job role, it gets called a lot of different things, but product support, technical support, service management, field service technician, help desk technician, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It's assumed that if you don't already have your A+, that you are going to be getting it very quickly, because it's IT hiring bosses. They don't care whether you've tried college or not, or whether you went to college and completed it or not. IT hiring bosses want to know what you know and what you can do. And the seal that you get with a CompTIA certification is, with A+, here's somebody who's got a very strong foundation around hardware, software, all the IT basics, and a good 25% or more of the body of knowledge of CompTIA A+ these days is troubleshooting. Okay, so that you can apply the knowledge that you got from your training and then demonstrate that in the test. Okay, to be able to break fix, to be able to take something that's not working and connect it and make it work. Okay, so very important, and a great place to start in IT is doing technical support work of one kind or another. CompTIA A+, we're pushing 1.3 million lifetime who've earned the CompTIA A+ certification over the past 29 going on 30 years. So very popular cert, very, very well known globally, that if somebody holds the A+, as a hiring boss, I've got confidence this person knows what they're doing around technical support. Yeah, there's some typical job roles right there. The job role always varies quite a bit, okay? But successfully training for and successfully testing on the 2 A+ certifications, okay, it's the same as giving yourself 9 to 12 months of actual tech support work experience.
Yeah, so this is going to be one of the other courses that we offer for CompTIA. We're going to offer, I mean, Kevin, you can speak on this, but we have, CompTIA has kind of 3 that are, I guess you would call them the most well-known certifications, right? You have your A+, your Network Plus, and your Security Plus. And CompTIA does have several other certifications that you can obtain if there's a particular area and niche that you want to pursue. But their 3 most popular certifications are going to be the Network Plus, the Security Plus, and the A+. And so we're going to offer basically each one of these courses that are depending on which area you find yourself wanting to go into. So Kevin, do you want to talk a little bit about the Network Plus?
You know, Network Plus, like all CompTIA certification courses, they're vendor neutral. Okay, so we're not a technology company. Remember, we're a trade association. Our mission is to grow and develop the global IT industry. Okay, certainly there are other large technology providers out there who offer vendor-specific training towards their certs that are very specific only to their gear. Okay, very often, particularly for young people, particularly for career changers coming into IT, they start with CompTIA certifications, okay, to get the full landscape, vendor-neutral view of what's going on in this or that niche of technology. Okay, so with CompTIA Network Plus, think of Network Plus. At the end of the day, it's teaching you how to manage and configure and troubleshoot network infrastructure, computer network infrastructure. Okay, and at the end of the day, we've got 500,000 plus who we've certified in CompTIA Network Plus over the years. Now, Cisco Systems still have majority market share in internetworking and routers and switches and that gear. So many, after they start with CompTIA Network Plus, will go on to Cisco Systems vendor-specific training and also earn their CCNA or their CCNP. That's very common with CompTIA certs. Start with the CompTIA cert, get the full landscape at a foundational level, and then depending on what your boss is asking you to do, your employer, or just what you want to do professionally for the work that you're doing, then maybe sometimes go vendor specific with that. But in this case, start with CompTIA Network Plus and then get that full vendor neutral view of networking.
And I want to jump into the question. So I see the questions coming in. We will get to all of those later, but that was a question that we just had, kind of asking George Bond. I bet that never gets old, George Bond. George Bond has asked a question. Is the A+ required for the Network Plus or Security Plus certification? And there have been a few threads about that coming up in the chat, like, hey, is there a linear progression to these certs? How does that work? Can you hop in and out? Do I have to have the A+ before I do the other certs?
Yeah, Mr. Bond, very good question. No, in fact, there are never, CompTIA has about 15. We will soon have 15. We're introducing a data systems plus cert this coming summer. It's like for database administrators. But across all of our certification exams that we have, there is never a requirement. There's never a prerequisite that you have to hold this one before you can go for that one next. Okay. Now, having said that, most, not all, but many, they will start with CompTIA A+. Okay, because they're very young, they're just starting out in their career and they've chosen IT, or they're career changing into IT, whatever, or they might be working in their first or second IT job, but they never earned any certs, and now they want to earn a cert or two to validate what they know and what they can do. Okay, so many start with A+, then go to Network Plus, and then in a minute or two we'll get to CompTIA Security Plus, which is the, globally it's just understood as the starter cert. If you want a path in cybersecurity, you got to get your CompTIA Security Plus. So that's typically the pathway. And again, I'll point you to CompTIA.org. If you go there and click around just a little bit, you'll quickly come across a grid that maps all of our certs and suggested ways. What do you want to do, or what does your boss want you to do? And very frequently, from A+, Net+, Security+, there's an infrastructure, there's an IT infrastructure certification path where you can get into things like Server+, Linux+, and Cloud+. There's also a follow-on path for additional cybersecurity certs, beyond Security+ to CISA+, which is Cybersecurity Analyst+, okay, Pen Test+, CASP+, that's CompTIA Advanced Security Practitioner+, okay. A third, by the way, very quickly, a third IT career pathway that we've just started in the past year is going to be around data analytics, big data. CompTIA last year published a new cert, CompTIA Data Plus. It's for the analyst in any functional area of an organization that what they all have in common is at least one large data set that they are trying to get insight out of and then report to their stakeholders on that insight that they're finding. And so Data Plus helps folks to do that. This summer we'll publish Data Systems Plus for the database administrator. Next year we have initial plans to publish something we might call it Data Science Plus for the data scientists. And so that Data Plus, Data Systems Plus, Data Science Plus will form a new third career pathway adjacent to the infrastructure certs that we have, adjacent to the cybersecurity certs that we have, will be these big data, data analytics certs. So a new third pathway for other folks to get into IT.
I love it. Thank you for letting me jump in. Keep going.
Sure. And the job roles, they vary quite a bit. These typically for folks who want to pursue networking, want to pursue CompTIA Network Plus. Okay, again, recommended, get your A+ first. You'll get more out of Network Plus if you start with A+. And then guess what I'm going to say next? You'll get more out of CompTIA Security Plus if you laid the foundation with Network Plus and A+ before it.
Yep, so you can see here, this is the third course that we're going to be offering, CompTIA Security Plus. All of these are going to start on the same day, by the way. They're all going to start on May 22nd. That's when we're going to be starting these certification courses. So we want you guys to be aware of that in advance. If there's any earlier ones, then we will let you know. But right now, what we have on our website is May 22nd. I wanted to pause very briefly before Kevin explains to you some of the opportunities with Security Plus and answer the question, outside of giving me skill set in the tech industry, why should I obtain a certification, right? And that's a really good question, right? Because some people are trying to balance the question of education, like formal education, a bachelor's degree versus a certification realm. And let me just say, they work hand in hand with each other. You're never going to hear us at Skillstorm say that, one is going to exclude the other, right? We think they work very well in tandem together. You can go into the tech industry with just certifications or with just a degree. But I like to point out the benefit of certifications from a recruitment standpoint, because I've been doing technical recruiting for a while, and whenever I get two resumes sent to me, and they both say that they have, let's say, a bachelor's in computer science, and they're from different universities, I have no way of knowing the skill set that either of these candidates have, right? Because universities teach different things and they prioritize different things in their education system, and that's awesome. But there can be a very high range of diversity in someone's skill set whenever they have the same degrees from different universities. The benefit of a certification is that these certifications, such as CompTIA certifications, they are always tailored every 3 or so years, Kevin, is that right?
Yeah, we update our certifications at least once every 3 years. There are bodies that accredit and regulate organizations like ours, ISO, International Standards Organization, ANSI, ANSI, American National Standards Institute. And so we always want to keep in their good graces as a certification body. And so we update our certifications continually It's great because it means that the content is always current. Certification exams should be targeted at a specific job role, and ours always are. And we want to be current in what that job role, what that individual is supposed to know and be able to do in current times. And so we keep the certs current so that that's the case.
Yeah, and so that's kind of the point from the recruitment standpoint. Guys, if you're looking to trying to kind of display on your resume what your skill set is, certifications are absolutely essential, because these are things, these are certifications, our standards are constantly kept up with in the industry, right? So the CompTIA certifications are not going to have irrelevant skill set to the area that you want to go into. And the thing that I love about seeing a certification on someone's resume is because I know that it's active and current, and I know exactly the skill set that the individual has, because it's objective. It's not tailored to a specific university. It's not tailored to a specific boot camp that I don't know what that boot camp teaches or what that university teaches. But I know the skill set that comes from someone who has a CompTIA A certification. And so it's very helpful to have certifications on your resume, because it's an easy way for an employer or a recruiter to look at your resume and say, I know what this individual knows how to do, because he has this objectively measurable standard by which he's assessed whenever he went to get that certification. So I hope that makes sense, but that's a big value of having a certification on your resume. So this is another one, Security Plus, and then Kevin can talk about the cert and some of the roles.
Yeah, let's get the money. Can we get the money? You know, the average starter cybersecurity job here in the US pays over $100,000 annually. And if you're dialing in today from a large metro area, that number is a good chunk higher. If you're dialing in from small town America, it's a little bit lower. All right. But I understand everybody who's with clearance job already has a security clearance. My goodness gracious, folks, get yourself a couple of CompTIA certs. It's the equivalent of shooting fish in a barrel. It really is. Okay, you will have multiple job offers. I'm based here in the Washington D.C. area, as it happens, because of DoD, U.S. DoD here, and the 8570, now 8140 Information Assurance Directive. The Greater Washington, D.C. metropolitan area is the #1 CompTIA training and testing market in the entire world. Okay, and there are in the Commonwealth of Virginia over 60,000 open U.S. Cybersecurity jobs today. In Maryland, another 26,000 open cyber jobs today. So I think 86,000 plus. Okay, and I'm sure there's a few more actually in the District of Columbia. So tons and tons of well-paying, solid, stable jobs that are here for cyber. And if you already have your security clearance, my goodness gracious, just get your Security Plus. Get your Security Plus. You will have multiple job offers, not just one. You will have multiple job offers in no time, very quickly. It's just one of the best things you can do for yourself.
Yeah, and we talk about that at clearance jobs. I mean, I appreciate that you're both talking about this, the certs and degrees standpoint, and they stand alone. Both are beneficial, but we just did our annual clearance jobs compensation report, and I think the bump for a certification was $16,000. Obviously, you layer a bachelor's, you layer a master's degree. There's benefits there, but at a baseline, if you have one certification on top of everything else, that's a $16K bump in your salary just out the gate. So when you look at the kind of the investment of time and opportunity into doing a certification, clearly there's a lot of value there.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great point, Lindy. You can see some of the benefits of going through SkillStorm in our courses. These are some of the perks, if you will, of our courses. You can see improved exam pass rates. That's because of our authorized training partnership with CompTIA. And so you can see that we've been doing this for 20 years, right? So again, we know how to train people for the tech industry. You can see the one-on-one mentorship. So when you have questions for your instructor, you can ask them. There are office hours available. And another benefit of going through SkillStorm is the same benefit of getting a certification on your resume, which is that our curriculum is always up to date. right? If CompTIA is consistently updating their curriculum to match the needs of the tech industry, then we have to constantly be updating our courses to match the new standards of the CompTIA certification. So you're never going to come to us and learn a skill set that was applicable 20 years ago. Right? You're going to come to us and you're going to learn a skill set that's relevant for you passing the updated CompTIA certifications for today. So those are some of the benefits of going through SkillStorm's accelerator courses. We can go to the next slide. Like I said, these are the 3 that we have coming up. 8-week courses for all of them, A+, Network Plus, and Security Plus. We would love to have you guys in these courses with us. Again, the value of the certifications that both Lindy and Kevin have spoken on is integral to your, not only your entrance into the tech industry, but also to your growth in the tech industry. And we want to see you guys succeed in this awesome opportunity for tech as it grows exponentially in the next few years. And so we want to help you reach that goal, and we want to help you reach that goal as quickly as we can. So these are going to be some really good resources, really good opportunities for you to get the skill set needed to get these certifications and get working into the tech industry.
You can tell Seth and Kevin are pros because they're answering your questions before I can answer them. So this was the question we had, like when did the what's the cost? What's going on here? What are the courses? I like the transparency around that, you know, it's very upfront. Class is starting May 22nd. The combination of being able to have that, I think, on-site or, you know, kind of in-person level of training as well as the online offering is really powerful. Had somebody ask about opportunities for veterans to be able to take this. Does SkillStorm take veterans? Yes, absolutely. I can answer for Seth. They love veterans. But talk a little bit about that. I know you're a partner with a cool program, Army Credentialing Opportunities Online program, or other opportunities to do for transitioning service members. Do you have any other insights there, Seth?
Yeah, absolutely. So 2 things I'll briefly mention, right? So if you are either active duty or a veteran, right? So particularly active duty, let's talk about that. You have access to the COOL funding, right? So Army and Air Force COOL funding. So you have, I believe it's $4,000 of funds available to you to take certification courses. So if you are active duty and you do not separate from the military for a while, and you would like to start gaining some of these certifications, you can absolutely use that COOL funding to pay for these courses. And so keep in mind, no matter if you're a civilian or a veteran, the numbers that you see on your screen right now includes both instruction and the cost of the voucher to take the certification. So, but if you are active duty, Air Force or Army COOL funding is available to you to pay for these certifications. And that fund replenishes every year. So if you are 3 years away from separating, there's 3 certifications staring you right in the face that you can use over the next few years, and you can separate with all 3 of those CompTIA certifications, which would be awesome. So that's COOL funding. That's going to be available to those who are active duty. The other opportunity would be through what's called the Vet Tech program. We really love raising awareness about this, but if you are a active duty service member coming in within 180 days of transitioning out, or if you are a veteran, as long as you have GI eligibility, there is a course, a program available, sponsored totally by the VA. It's not going to touch your GI bill at all. You have to have GI eligibility in order to participate, but essentially it's an immersive 16-week full-time training program available to you. We train in a few different areas of tech: software development, cloud computing, cybersecurity. And it, like I said, it's totally funded by the VA. It's remote, it's instructor led. And if you have separated, you will receive a 50% BAH by means of being enrolled. And it is just an immersive opportunity to get some great tech training from our instructors, 16 weeks full time, 640 hours of education, and we assist in job placement afterwards. And no matter what cohort of ours that you go through, it will yield some voucher for a certification. So if you go the cybersecurity route, guess what? You're going to get a voucher for the CompTIA Security Plus free of charge. So if you know of someone who is active duty and is, thinking about or is going to transition out sometime soon and is thinking about going into the tech industry, they can do this as a skill bridge opportunity, and that would be awesome for them. If you're a veteran or know a veteran who has GI eligibility remaining and wants to get some training in the tech industry without having it have touched their GI bill, that's another awesome opportunity. So yes, for the veterans that are here and joining us, or those who are transitioning out soon, that tech program would be awesome for you if you can do it. If you're not within 180 days or if you don't have GI Bill, then you can just take these courses. They're still beneficial. Or if you are active duty and you're transitioning out in a few years, please use your COOL funding to pay for these courses. So no matter where you find yourself, there's opportunity for education in the tech industry. There we go. And so I wanted to, yep, there we are. We've reached the end. I don't know if anyone has any other questions. Sometimes people don't like typing them in the chat, but if you guys do have other questions that you think of, if you're anything like me, all of my pertinent questions escape my brain approximately 30 seconds after the opportunity to ask them. So if you have any other questions, please take down.
I mean, I got you gentlemen on the spot. You're not going to leave me yet. I got some questions for you. So we had the question about SkillBridge come in earlier, so you just addressed that. It is available as a SkillBridge opportunity. Somebody asked about kind of on-demand options. So we touted, I love the fact that you actually get some instructor-driven time, but we obviously live in an on-demand society. And I think you referenced that earlier, but kind of talk about, is there like on-demand training opportunities for some of these modules, or how much, or what's the split of in-person training versus I just want to watch a video later?
Yeah, everything that we do is going to be remote, right? So we can service more people that way, right? So if we do the accelerator courses, those are remote. If we do the vet tech program, that's remote. So all of the opportunities are available in terms of location. You can participate anywhere. In terms of when we start these courses and when we do the vet tech cohort and things of that nature, that's going to be on a date, right? Because we want to train people at the same time. So if we're talking about on demand, the accelerator courses are that asynchronous model, right? So you do have a start date for the course, but once you start, there is going to be that flexibility in terms of your ability to participate in the live aspects of that. The vet tech program, it is going to be a requirement Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 for 16 weeks. So there are start dates for these, but we do try to start these very often, right? So the accelerator courses, typically once a month or once every other month, we're going to have some kind of certification training. The vet tech program, our goal is to train in 2 different technologies every month. Sometimes it's 1, sometimes it's 2, but that's our goal, is to do 2 technology trainings every month. So I understand people want it and they want to start now, and that's awesome. And typically whenever they are able to want to start and they are able to start, we're going to have something for them to start.
Awesome. We had a pessimist in the crowd, which is my spirit animal. What happens if I need to retake the test? Or how does that process work? Or is there a requirement to take the test within a certain window after completing the program?
Yeah, that's a good question. I believe, and don't quote me on this, I need to double check the answer with this. I believe there's an opportunity to retake the exam if you don't pass it on the first go. Again, don't quote me on that, but I believe that's what I've heard. So I will get an answer for you guys, and we can maybe send that out.
But that's the testimonial, yes. Guys. Everybody passes the test. If you've done that great SkillStorm training, you're not going to fail the test. So that's why Seth doesn't have to know the answer, because everybody passes the test on the first try.
That's true. That's why it helps going through an authorized training partner. So, but, yeah, it's a good question.
And then we've had a few questions about the career pathing side of it. So I do want to get back a little bit to kind of the certs piece of it. And I know you mentioned this earlier, Kevin, you know, and Seth, you can touch on this, but like, how does this tie into really building out a career in the tech industry? So like, why do you look at these training programs? And like, at what point do you pivot to maybe some more industry specific certs or other certs beyond this? Somebody asked that question too.
Sure, and that's a good one. So first, if you're hired into tech, if you're working in IT, your boss will guide you. Okay, he or she is going to, okay, I see where we're going to need more help. We're going to need more support, more bandwidth in the years ahead in this area or that area. And they're going to look across the staff that they have now, and who are folks, you know, we're going to need more cyber analysts. Okay, so the foundations of cybersecurity with Security Plus, good, okay, but additionally, as we want people to be able to better play defense, okay, going forward, and that's why CompTIA built CISA Plus, Cybersecurity Analyst Plus. Think of it as intermediate cyber security certification, blue team defense. naturally picks up and follows on where Security Plus leaves off. And so that's a path that's very typical in cybersecurity. I should mention, okay, as cyber grows up as a function in organizations, there are many more. There are 4 times, maybe 5 times more cyber analyst jobs out there than there are pen test jobs. CompTIA has 2 cybersecurity certs that follow on after Security Plus. One is Blue Team Defense for that analyst, for all those analyst jobs. Okay, the other is Pen Test Plus, okay, which is ethical hacking that actually makes you hack in the exam in order to pass the test. Okay, what a concept. But the truth is, if you're thinking, okay, well, which direction? I want cyber, and then after the basics with Security Plus, where do I go? What do I do? I'll repeat. There are 4 to 5 times more cyber analyst jobs out there today than there are for hackers, for pen testers. And so if you have to make a forced choice, can only pick one. After Security Plus, go with CISA Plus after that, and get yourself better prepared for the defensive side of cyber.
So somebody asked, I don't know if I'm allowed to ask this question, but nobody's told me no yet. So if you can't answer it, you won't. Somebody asked, how is CISA better than ISC2?
Well, so we don't pretend at CompTIA that we have all the best certification exams, okay? But let me give you an example of that. ISC Squared has a great certification exam in their CISSP. It's a great cert. Every enterprise organization needs somebody, or a couple of people perhaps, that have earned their CISSP. So let me quick compare and contrast between what CompTIA has in that area and what ISC has. CompTIA's capstone cybersecurity cert is CASP plus. Okay, and there will not be a test on all these acronyms at the end of the webinar here, but CASP plus is CompTIA Advanced Security Practitioner plus. Now, people who want in cyber, if that is your track, that's the path that you want, or that you're being told that you want by your bosses. Okay, well, if you're being told, no, we need managers. Okay, we need somebody to manage and implement the policies and procedures around information assurance, cybersecurity. Okay, then go get your CISSP from ISC. That's what you should be doing. However, what CompTIA has built with CASP plus, Advanced Security Practitioner plus, okay, if you think of CISSP as answering to the why around information assurance and cybersecurity, right? The policy why, what we need. And so CASP plus, our cert, okay, that if you can pass it, it's our hardest cert, that answers to the how to implement an enterprise organization's cyber policies and procedures. It answers to that you've kept your hands-on skills current over time, and that you likely have 5 to 10 years or more of relevant work experience in tech, specifically in cyber. That makes the candidate best able to, to be able to successfully work with our CASP plus cert. Okay, so I hope that helps to give some perspective. We have many popular certs at CompTIA that, as the skills gap continues to be substantial and most years grows, people coming towards our different certifications to get into IT, those numbers continue to grow also. But we don't pretend that only our certs are the ones that answer that can answer to everybody's career questions.
And I'm a firm believer in the Miracle in 34th Street model of marketing. So we all got to help each other out here, and like I said, learning a lot here. Also, how to tell if your moderator is not a tech professional. I have jacked up 100% of the certification names so far, so I might be fired from the next one of these, Seth and Kevin. But I appreciate
Not at all. You're doing great.
We have had questions come in about other opportunities through SkillStorm. The SkillStorm portfolio is robust. That's why ClearanceJobs is really excited to partner with them. They have a ton of different training modules. So if you're on here, you already have, you know, the Security Plus or the A Plus. I mean, look and see what other options are out there through SkillStorm. They have a ton of different options. And what I also love is too, it's not just about obtaining certification. It's really about placing people into careers, which is obviously the passion point for ClearanceJobs. So like Kevin said, if you get the cert, if you get your foot in the door, your career lattice, the path, as Kevin has like the visual behind him, your career pathway, it's in the photo behind you, Kevin, will set out before you. You just got to get that first CompTIA cert with SkillStorm, and then the career journey will just go from there. Well, that we're close to at time. We had a few questions that we couldn't get to that were a little more niche that we will follow up with after the fact, but I wanted to give you time, Kevin and Seth. Was there anything that we didn't address that you wanted to go over or highlight?
I did get a message saying we do not sponsor a second attempt for the accelerator courses. So I did ask that question, but that's good to know. So I think we have a very, very high pass rate for the certification courses. We're not able to ask people to report back to us if they passed or not. That's something we're not able to ask them. You know, if they do report that back to us, great. But because we're an authorized training partner and we've trained hundreds of people in these certifications, we're very confident in your ability to pass after you receive education. So that answers that question.
Yeah. And just in a closing comment, I do want to endorse SkillStorm. It matters that the company that you're choosing to train and you know, add to your education with, it matters that they're 20 plus years old and profitable, because it means that they're going to have more resources to bring to bear in the delivery of their program to you. There are more than a few startups out there just getting started, just beginning to, you know, put themselves together, and they're not always, those folks are not always going to have the resources. They're not always going to have the deep bench that SkillStorm has, you know, in terms of instructors, in terms of others who have just been doing it successfully for many years that can bring to bear to make sure that your education outcome with them is going to be successful.
Yeah, and we appreciate our partnership with ClearanceJobs and with CompTIA, and we're just really grateful to have the relationship with you guys that we do. And if you guys have any questions, yeah, please reach out to me. Please email me. Like Lindy said, we do a lot of different avenues. We believe that we have something for everyone who's looking to get into tech, no matter if you are a trained professional and you're looking for a career change, or if you are just getting into this, have a bachelor's degree, don't have a bachelor's degree, you're a civilian, you're a veteran, you're active duty. We believe that we have something for everyone, and that's what we're passionate about. So thank you guys for your partnerships and for having us today.
No, we appreciate it. Look at all of this passion and institutional knowledge around cybersecurity and hiring. What Kevin was touting is 30 years. Seth's got 20 years. ClearanceJobs has 25 years. See, you just partner with those folks who have been around a while. We've seen some things in the tech industry. So, but I thank you so much. Again, ClearanceJobs is super excited about our partnership with SkillStorm. So go to info.skillstorm.com/ClearanceJobs certification courses. We will also send you the recording after the fact. So we thank you, those of you who attended this. You'll have a chance to listen to it again on demand anytime you need to. And then all of the information that we had will be provided there. So thank you so much to Kevin, to Seth, to SkillStorm and CompTIA for being with us today. And thank you for everyone who attended.
Great to be with you. Thank you.
Bye.